Hey there, Drawyah here, and welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Today, taking flights in the Cessna 208 Caravan, flying the Mac Air Services tailcode, and taking on a trip from here we're in Cape Town to Port Elizabeth. So, it's about an hour 45, 2 hours across the South African nation today. And, yeah, should be a good flight today. It's going to be evening, going to be a little bit cloudy today, so we won't have a very high cruise. But for the most part, things should be nice and clear for us. Also, Sim has recently updated, so I have now got a few more optimization fixes. And also, as you can see on top of the screen, we have a few extra flight stats, which also include an ETA. So finally, no more do you guys have to ask me every 30 seconds, how long until we land, what's our ETA. So, yeah, set the aircraft up, get ready for a flight shortly. And also, well, let's have a look at the airport, shall we, as well? Because Cape Town, it looks like, is one of the hand-built airports that's available with Microsoft Flight Simulator. So we do get the fancy model here, and we might as well have a moment to kind of just enjoy it before we go for flight. I'm not sure if it's custom built or if it's just a really nice bit of AI work, but it looks good. It does look really good, that. Got all the roads coming in, you got the car parks out the back. Very, very nice model, this. So if we go back to our Cessna now, not that Cessna, our Cessna is there it is. That's like our exit point, okay. So start setting the aircraft up, we'll start getting ready for a flight. And we've got ready for everything ahead. So we're using IVAO. This is Cape Town, flying through Cape Town to Port Elizabeth. Right, battery on, avionics on. Now, in terms of plugging the flight plan, last time I checked, the aircraft doesn't, well, the G1000 in the sim do not, at least yet, support manipulation of the flight plan. So unfortunately, we have to use the menu to program all of that, which I believe should be in place as it is. I'll zoom out on the range, you'll be able to see the routing snake its way across the South Nation. So we fly inland a little bit over the mountains, then fly over the coast, and then as we carry on, we'll be able to spot the airport in the distance. So we get the METAR information now for Cape Town. So flying from Fax to FAPE. Right, QNH 1015, which in inches. Two 997. So set that up. We'll set an altitude as well, so use the autopilot powers up there. We'll initially cruise at 5,000, but basically we'll see how the cloud cover goes. If the cloud cover's a little bit low, then we shall adjust that if we need it. We'll use navigation, turn on the flight director. I'm using vertical speed mode, and we'll set that initially to 1,000 feet per minute. Your dampener all set. And that should be us all sorted. Departing from runway 19 here at Cape Town. And so runway 19, if we zoom out, I believe is one over there. So it's kind of the southerly heading runway. No, that's 01. There, that one's 19. So we depart, we'll taxi out, make a left-hand turn, past the two A380s that stand right now. We'll cross the runway, and then make our way to departure. So it'll be quite an interesting taxi as well. Get to see quite a bit of the airport as we go by. In terms of pushback, we'll probably do it in reverse thrust. So we won't use the guy down there with the pushback vehicle. We'll do it all from within the aircraft itself. Alright, let's go over to the lighting panel. Turn on the navigation lights. Turn on the no smoking seatbelt signs, which I believe do actually work in this aircraft on the overheads. If not, I know there is a couple of aircraft where it does actually work throughout. Strobes won't turn yet. Beacons will wait until we start the engines up, which will be in a couple of moments. Power outlets here. You can turn on some parallax if you need for the crew. That should do. We'll turn on the fuel pumps, or the fuel tanks. We'll start up the fuel boost, the fuel pumps, that's a normal. Yes, this is the Microsoft version, not the Steam version, this is Microsoft. Right, we'll turn on the ignition, and let's get ready now for an engine start. So we'll turn on, we'll increase the throttle slightly, get some power in, set the prop RPM up, mixture controls up, that's all fine. We'll turn on the beacon lights to announce to the ground crew that we are ready to start our engines. And let us start the engines. So set the start switch on. Welcome there, Hajila. Welcome there, Tensei. How are you doing? I'm not doing too bad. It's been a rather good day so far. And thankfully, because of the updates, SimFX is no longer a laggy, horrible mess in Microsoft Flight Sim. So today we'll fly with the overlay. Tomorrow I plan to reintroduce PAX in the channel. So that's the Passenger Simulation Experience add-on, the one by TFDI Design, which well, if you know, I absolutely adore. So I'm very excited to bring that one back to the channel. Right, so engines active. Increase the throttle slightly just to test the RPM, make sure everything is stable. Right, I hear that. Let's turn off the start switch. Thank you for becoming a sponsor, Shiva. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Right, that's all good. So we're now ready to go. We'll set the what have I done? Nav frequency. Okay, we'll be fine. Turn on the taxi lights. Release the parking brake, and let's whip the aircraft in reverse. Okay. Turns out the reverse is not powerful enough to move the aircraft, so we shall use the pushback vehicle. Who knew? I thought the aircraft would be able to push back on its own there, but obviously not. Welcome there, Glacier King. How you doing? Where'd that bus come from? It fits between. Oh gosh. Microsoft Flight Simulator. You're always a joyous bit of programming this. Right, so now pushing the aircraft back. Welcome there, Mr. Crystal. How you doing? Ah, watching Port Elizabeth. Welcome there, Tiabiso. Sorry. How you doing? Should be enough for a pushback. I'll give it a couple of seconds for you to move out of the way. And when you have done, we'll make our way over to runway 19. Right. Thank you for becoming a sponsor, Ross. Thank you very, very much. Absolute stars today. Thank you very much. So, let's go taxi over to the runway. Hopefully the overlay will be working for us. Speed's working. Sorry, heading's working. Speed doesn't look like it. Altitude looks like it will work. Let's see, why are you not detecting our speed? Ah, right, that's in airspeed, not ground speed. Give me a second, I might change that. 2 seconds. Make a left-hand turn. We have to wait for the fuel truck to cross, so we'll hold position here 2 seconds. Oh, actually going to be following behind it, okay. There you go. So it's nice and slow taxiing the 208s. The outside of runway 19, so we do get to see the terminal in detail. We also get to enjoy the, we get to enjoy sizing up our aircraft alongside the two A380s over at gate right now. I'm not sure if anyone actually operates 380s into Cape Town. I know that British Airways do fly the A380s into Johannesburg. And I believe, if my memory serves me right, I actually personally know the person at British Airways who's in charge of this airport as well, up in the management. Great guy, love him. Price really good PC up if it came to 2000, that's with everything, including a 34-inch widescreen monitor, fair play. I'll probably upgrade to 1440, but I have slowly been pricing up an all-new system based around the RTX 3080 card. So it'll definitely be a 3080 I'm going for. It's looking like I'll be going for an AMD processor, so break away from Intel. Motherboard, looking like it'll be going for the Tomahawk, and a few other small things here as well, but I must say, once that's all been priced up, once that's all been put together, it should be a very, very fun bit of future for us. You get glide lessons, fair play Kai, you enjoy yourself. I've done gliding once before. At some point, I'd say I'd like to do it again, it's a lot of fun that. Yeah, tax lines is a bit of a bit of an interesting one. Meganto, how you doing? Oh, I see 2 of our admins have appeared today. Let's see if Mo shows up. Make it 3. Should be an achievement for the tax line 100%. Right, about to cross an active runway now, so turn on the taxi lights, sorry, landing lights and the strobes. And in just a second, we'll hold short of the runway and get ready for our departure. So we're using IVO again. We should also use Unicom, because I don't think there's any active controller right now. Yes, it's just Unicom, so announce that we are ready to depart. Do a quick visual check, make sure that nobody's coming in to land on the left. Nobody's coming in on the right, or on the runway right now. Because, well, we did a visual check in the, not longitude, it actually was in the CJ4, and we remember what then appeared on the runway during our takeoff run. For an inspection unit or something there, I'm not quite sure what that was all about. All looks good, we'll enter the runway, and let's go start our takeoff run. All looks good. throttle up around 50%. Engine's stable. Let's get going. Airspeed's live. Just rotates. Pitch climb 80 knots. Back throttle slightly since it's in the reds. And there we have it. Slow but steady departure. We're in Cape Town. Starts the left-hand turn now. Gets us onto the flight plan. Adjust the trim. Tiny bit of turbulence around us, but nothing too bad just yet. Anyway, look at these clouds. It's going to be quite an interesting one to fly through. Let's activate autopilot. So autopilot sets. Navigation mode sets. Vertical speed is set. And let's on this anti-icing. Let's bring out the throttle slightly. Continue climb. A little bit of turbulence right now, but nothing too crazy just yet. We're about to center for our first cloud of flights. Like I said, I have got the anti-ice systems turned on, so it shouldn't cause too many problems for us, this one. It's 16,000 worth of PPI on 100 hours of flights. I mean, 100 hours of flight is good, but well, do you really need it? Most you can do in about 40. Right, so next waypoint is Charlie Tango 718. If I can try and get a direct 2 point there. Charlie Tango 718. That, activate that. Yeah, okay. So there won't be any, oh, there we go. Has the text of it. So now, hopefully, yeah, I'll set vertical speed, I'll set the autopilot. Instead of a heading, let's go to heading mode, select that to 180, go directly to the south. Unless I'm doing something wrong. I don't think I am. Yes, this is the latest patch. This is the latest update from the Sobo. There we go, nice looking better now. Increase our altitude now to 7,500. I should go to 8,000. There we go, that's looking a little more stable now. Mixture around 75%. Just slowly stabilise the aircraft, so just throttle if need be. Finally to prop aircraft, not my main go-to, but with enough behind it, you do eventually kind of get into it. Welcome Mr. Crystal from Virginia, how you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chats. Yeah, I'll leave on heading mode then for the duration of this flights. So a bit of a more of a hand-on approach to this flights. Ultimately, should be worth it. A few clouds for us to fly through today. For the most part, things should be nice and clear, especially at higher altitudes, and the visibility down below will be quite spectacular. And there's the coastline. Cruise at 10,000, so increase now to 10,000. And that should now keep us going for the rest of the flights. No, we are not doing a barrel roll. The more you ask, the less we're doing it. The Caravan's it's a nice little aircraft. Takes a lot of manual adjusting on the controls there, but once you get going, it's a more than fine aircraft to fly. Tomorrow I plan to fly the A320 again, and that'll be using PAX as well, so the passenger simulation add-on. Welcome there, Gamer Dude. Welcome from South Africa. How you doing? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the chats. The altimeter now to standards. So 29902. Passing through 7,500, so not too long to go now to finish our cruise. And also in a second we'll start a left-hand turn. Take us alongside the routes. Nav lights are on. I'll turn these off at 10,000. Also including the passenger simulation experience add-on. So PAX, basically, as the name suggests, you have passengers on board the aircraft. You have cabin crew on the aircraft, and so what it does is it simulates the actual flights as a whole. So it gives like sounds that simulate passengers in the back of the aircraft. You have the cabin crew which interacts both with the pilots and the passengers. You have the safety briefings demos and the main introducing to the aircraft and after landing messages. And also you get full end of flight reports, which basically give you a briefing of how the flight went, what passengers' thoughts, any extras as well. And it's just a very nice little add-on. Think FS passengers, but modern. Left hand turn now to 090. Passing through 9,000 now, 1,000 to go. I can zoom in out on the map, so if you head over to the centre there, you can go to the range wheel, and you can use range to zoom in and out of the aircrafts. So let's try and do a direct points to Octet, see if we try to get this flight plan working again. So in terms of actually flight planning, this aircraft's not spectacular. things where if you treat it with enough care, it does eventually start to work for you. So, Oscar. Kilo. Tango. Echo. Delta. So that's, activate that. Trying to turn on navigation mode again. I bet you there's also something I'm forgetting, like change the source to navigation or something, change to FMS. That's nav 1, nav 2. Use passenger address system, speakers, no, that. Packs, yes, so packs by TFDI Design, is the add-on I'll be using tomorrow. Altitude, well, we're cruising at 10,000 today, although the maximum altitude that the Cessna Caravan can fly at is 25,000, so it's a very high altitude aircraft, this, very high performing. That's it. There we go, cheers to that insane robots. That's exactly what I was looking for. See, like I say, you guys know better than I do how to fly these aeroplanes. I mean, the jet aircrafts I can handle. Some of these small GA stuff, I need to spend a bit more time practicing. So cruising out at 10,000. Going to be flying just above the clouds. Going to be cloud surfing today. Yep, don't worry, that other guy we have finally got there. No task you can't. Sometimes it gets a bit choppy. That's mainly when it's downloading new scenery. So when it's downloading sceneries, downloading town, cities and airports, depending on how big that download is, it can get a little bit choppy at times. The frame rate starts to stutter. And that's down to the fact that the CPU is getting some high usage, and therefore it just needs to kind of adjust its way around that. But when it does stutter, it's very rare and very short, very brief, so it's not particularly bad. There from Norfolk. How you doing, Webs Racing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chats. Yes, the fast SSD does help, which I'm currently running on right now. Yep, ETA is working, all looking good. Finally, the simulator is slowly catching up with how it used to be on the old X-Plane. So we've got the overlays working, we've got some of the extra fantasies working. There's a few small adjustments I need to make to the overlay, which I can do slowly as the flight goes by. So down that one, save that. Speed should be set to... ground speeds. It is now, so we can save that, use overlay, export it to HTML, and that's running in the background. Oh, I to... no, we'll leave it at that. From tomorrow it should run a bit smoother. Yes, so Z means Zulu. And so depending on the time zone, depends on our ETA. So right now it's now 1951 Zulu. We'll be landing in around 1 hour and 50 minutes, give or take a few. Probably not getting the Thrustmaster Airbus throttle. I'm quite happy with the Thrustmaster HOTAS Warthog throttle, and so I probably won't be getting it. My job, I do marketing and database backend support. I mean, the 747 Dreamliner, they're not perfect, but I wouldn't really say it's horrible. Once you learn the basics, when you know what you're doing, then it's more than fine aircraft to fly, the 747. One I've certainly enjoyed flying in the past, and hopefully plan to fly again this weekend. All goes to plan. I've got an idea in mind with routes. Do I have a YouTube channel? I'd hope so. I would hope so, Task. This is running on high graphics, high or ultra. Now, the GPS have weather on. Truth be told, if it does, I'm not sure how you turn it on in the G1000s. Hi from Port Elizabeth, welcome there Connor, how you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chats. Ever since installed today's update, I have nothing but trouble. For me, the update was super easy and, well, I think I've seen a few FPS increase as well. And again, SimConnect makes things so much smoother. Somebody asked about the difference between Steam and Microsoft version. No, there's no difference between the Steam Store version and the Microsoft Store version. Both are exactly the same. I do plan to upgrade to 30 series cards. I'm going to go for the 3080. I'm going to order that on the 17th when that comes out. On the top there, that's showing the airspeed right now. Showing the airspeed. From tomorrow, it will show ground speed. I just still learning how to configure it properly, the overlay, but it should be alright. How far for the route? Not very. So departed just here. Right, Cape Town, so we've got the majority of the flight left to go. On the top of the screen you can see a progress bar, and the progress bar tells you exactly how far we've come so far. So it's a nice little extra, one that I'm very, very pleased with. So I'm using FlyLive for my overlays, and it's without a doubt the one add-on one of the biggest add-ons I've been missing since the transition from Flight Simulator, from X-Plane and P3D to Microsoft Flight Sim. But now that SimConnect works properly... Huh. Just realised I've accidentally closed it. Oops. Give me a second, let's just quickly reset it then. Let's self-Drawyah. Try not to close things that you're running. Right, so we set the flight again, so it's facts to FAPE. And our course sign, well not really course sign, but in this case our tail code is that. Right, that should be a bit better. What? I'm not using a yoke, I'm using a side stick. I'm using a Thrustmaster HOTAS Warthog. The overlay, that's called FlyLive. It's by CAG2. Now, the overlay's also now displaying in ground speed, which should be a bit more accurate to what you guys are probably looking for. Yeah, the problem looks like a planet. Oops, a bit of turbulence there. Not doing bad, Mola. Not doing too bad. Nice and peaceful flight so far. A little bit of turbulence to deal with, but nothing too crazy just yet. Packs. I plan to be using packs tomorrow. Packs by TFDI Design. I mean, you can just set an action GPS if you want to. The ILS mode, all you've got to do is ensure that the frequencies are all set properly in the FMS, in this case the G1000. As long as that's all aligned, then you're fine. There's no real need for the flight plans if you don't want to go through it. Temperature outside right now is -4 degrees centigrade here at 10,000, -4. Couple of modes, making a left-hand turn, and that takes us over to our next waypoint from Octet. Yes, I am using the Premium Deluxe version of the sim, but right now everything you see is in the standard. So Cessna 208 comes in standard, and that's it really. That's the well, the aircraft and scenery. Scenery gets the farthest as well. What I used to edit with. VSDC video editor is what I used to edit my stuff with. Or if I'm live streaming, then there's no editing whatsoever. It's just what you see is what you get. There are already liveries out, so can. If you download the freeware Mega Liveries pack, you now get over 100 liveries for pretty much all the aircrafts. There's a freeware liveries pack. It's been available for about 2 weeks now. Not sure about mods on Xbox, because it really comes down to how everything's loaded in. There'll definitely be third-party content available to download. That'll be done through the store directly, but in terms of the freeware mods like you get in the... So like for example the A32NX or the liveries, it's 150 now, oh gosh, getting bigger and bigger. Yeah, stuff like that I'm not super sure about, because it's not... You can't really access the files directly and drag stuff into it. I'm not... I mean, I have noticed a fair few improvements, so FPS looking a bit more stable, and the fact that SimConnect works means that I've finally got the overlay working, so you can now see at the top of the screen you've got my departure and arrival airports, the call sign, the estimated time of arrival, my current altitude, speed and heading, and so with SimConnect working, that's all working a charm. Right now this is pretty close to vanilla. The only thing I'm using that isn't vanilla is the IVAO pilots, ATC clients. Apart from that, everything you're seeing right now is vanilla. Not sure about VNAV being fixed, but I don't think so. VNAV is a whole separate system to be worked on, and so that will come in time, basically. Don't forget, some of the landing lights are at 10,000. 10 gigabytes! Gosh, it's getting bigger now, isn't it? It's a fantastic add-on. I love the community for actually being able to put together some freeware liveries. My only request with the freeware liveries pack is 2 versions of it. One for all, another one for having the just the realistic liveries. Because I know, for example, there's a Pan Am A320 or a Southwest Airlines A320. Me personally, I'm not going to use them because they're fictional liveries, and so perhaps I'd like a version that removes the fictional stuff and just leaves you with the bog standard realistic stuff. But hey, that's just me. I'm sure everyone else has their own different opinions. Will I do a VAT sim video? No, I probably won't be doing VAT sim unless someone from there can contact me about my account suspension. So for now, we shall be using IVAO. Yeah, fun plane to jump out of. You got the oh, I mean, you got the door back here. Oh, whoops, there we go. Yeah, you got the door back here if you want to jump out of that. There's your step ladder. It's a very nice little aircraft. That's the Caravan. I do like it. I've done a tutorial on how to download the freeway liveries pack. Essentially, just download the file and drag it all into your community folder. Do that, all works a charm. Oh, welcome there, Peter. It's your hometown coming to Port Elizabeth. Fair play, hope you enjoy it. Welcome Tommy, how you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chats. PAX is available from TFDI Design. Why is my account suspended? The official reason is VATSIM reserved the rights to suspend any user from using their service at any time. There was a few things that happened before that, but I had zero involvement in it, and I do feel like VATSIM did throw me under the bus regarding it, so I did say I'll accept whatever comes my way, but to say I'm disappointed would be an understatement. But I'm not complaining. IVAO have treated me well so far. I like the Altitude clients. Very nice and easy to use. Very modern as well. So, for the time being, let's use that. Also looking at POSCON. POSCON's looking to soon make an emergence. So yeah, we'll see how that goes when that comes out. Flight time 2 hours today. Oh, they started working on 787 mods. Oh, that's great. I'm going to keep an eye on that one because, well, in terms of systems, default aircrafts, the 787's probably one of the best. So to have people upgrading that, I like it. I like it. Making a tutorial on ILS landings. I mean, if you look at my landing tutorials in the A320, 78 and 747, I do use the ILS for those ones. You can use drone cam to walk around the aircrafts, but there's no set avatar mode. For example, like Korea references P3's avatar mode, so while it is possible to use drone cam to walk around the aircrafts, there's no real dedicated mode for it. On our third test on the road today. Tuesday ago was the citation jet Cessna Citation 4. Yesterday was the Cessna Citation Longitudes. Today, the Cessna Caravan. So it's the same manufacturer, but just a very, very different experience, that's for sure. The Mega Liveries Pack. So very shortly, we're about a quarter way into the flight now. Landing in about 90 minutes, an hour and a half till we touch down. New live stream, and you've seen any videos besides being good and cool. Cheers for that, Tommy. I'm glad you're enjoying the watches. I'm glad you're enjoying actually learning something out of them as well. I mean, the main reason why I did those tutorial videos was not, well, yeah, it was mainly just kind of give you guys an extra hand in what you need to know, what you need to do when it comes to flying some of these aircrafts. Especially for those that this is like their very first flight sim. There's a lot they don't know about, and especially some of these jet aircraft. It can be a bit daunting just looking at switches, the buttons, just how much there is to manipulate, how much there is to do. But with enough practice, you'll be flying like a pro in no time. FPS getting a solid 30 right now. Solid 30. Wind right now, so there's a bit of an updraft in some cases, which forces the nose up. It's not too bad at the moment, it's not looking too terrible. A little bit of turbulence there. Not terrible. We might even climb to 15,000 if we need to. Just try and avoid some of this, but we'll see how it goes. We'll monitor the current situation, we'll see how it goes. Why don't you put the wind information on PFD? I mean, the main answer is I don't know how to. Oh, there you go, wind. Oh, there you go, thank you very much. Show that. So it's a 12 knot tailwind. It's a variable heading. It is slowly changing direction between 269 and 272. So it's a variable at the moment. Using this on an SSD. Not on multiplayer mode, we're using IVAO today. To my left is Swellendam, some of the clouds. Right, you'll pass Overberg and the Hoop. Well, hopefully there's a break in the clouds, might be able to spot some of those. I started watching you, thought it was impossible to answer me, but it's not, and now you're very happy with it. No worries, Tommy. Flight plan tomorrow. I don't have a flight plan tomorrow, but essentially, what I'm going to do is I'll open up the IVO map, I'll see which ATCs are active, and then I'll just try and do a flight for ATC in 4 packs. I have not been to Cape Town, no. I've never been on the African continent. One day I'd like to, but as it stands, not yet, no. Small adjustments to the overlay while I fly. Use the active information to judge how far things need to be. So southern gusts that do put the aircraft out. Let's go up to 15,000, so go to the altitude selector. Increase that now. Let's use the vertical speeds to manage a 1,000 feet per minute climb. So hopefully, for a little bit above the clouds, we'll go through a more of a stabler airspace. Missed out there, flying over very scenic routes. And what I could do is I could always just turn off the weather. That's the fun in that. Ooh. Okay, well I guess we'll have some clouds anyway. Do you do one-to-one tuition? Not at the moment, no. I've had a fair few people ask me to teach them how to fly. The problem is, I don't really have time to teach everyone. No, I actually wouldn't mind it. Oops, no, I won't go for like night time, too late, it's too dark. I actually wouldn't mind it, it's just kind of finding the time to actually sit down and do it with people who want it. Who initiates the descent? Me. I'll be on initiating descent once we get to towards the airport we're landing at. What do you mean by who? Who? Who's the one flying the aeroplane? Who shall fly thou plane? Chance die pilots. Flight control. Laboratory Capitan. By pilots. Chance be in control. Which I want to play right now, but hey, here's what it is. Yeah, so far so good. Aircraft's looking stable. Everything's looking charming. All is calm. Have you seen another shark gamer in your streams? What do you mean by... Oh, not that I've seen. Perhaps... I don't know. What do you mean by speed is bugged? I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, Mr. Crystal. Speed looks fine to me. Yes, so Cape Town is a handcrafted airport, and so I got to enjoy some of the nice scenery around that. It looks good. It did look good. Oh right, yes. So the overlay was just slowly adjusting, trying to get the positioning right across all the different nodes. So got a little bit of work to do with that, but it's looking better than it was before. Kind of spacing all the nodes out. Get the autopilot working. In this case, it was because of a bunch of people in chat telling me what to do. But it's not too difficult to operate the autopilot in the Cessna Caravan. It's just the panel up here, and on the G1000, you can use the CDI button to switch to source. Left, we've got the they're written down somewhere. On our left, they are the Cape Cod Mountains. So it's a mountain range that goes pretty much the entire length of South Africa. Very beautiful bit of the world, this. Coming up to 15,000 now, just a few hundred feet to go. Slowly, we'll increase our airspeed again. Our ground speed right now, 170 knots, is slowly increasing, making good progress. From a passenger standpoint, the views on left and right are looking rather good as well. Yeah, so with VFR flight rules, it's possible to, well, you fly in uncontrolled airspace, or you can request a flight following, which allows you to fly in controlled airspace, the way to see navigating you around any potential restrictions ahead of you. Welcome there, Salnek, how you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chat. Oh yes, nice one, Francois. So this was I was originally going to fly from Johannesburg. I was going to do Johannesburg to Port Elizabeth. I was told by a couple of people to fly instead from Cape Town, and I think it's worked out nicely. It looks rather good. Flight time is 2 hours today. So in terms of differences from the original release to well, the recent patch, I mean, I've noticed that frame rates look quite nice at the moment. But the biggest one for me has to be the SimConnect compatibility, which now allows me to use stuff like the overlay on screen right now. And from tomorrow, I plan to use PAX. No, I've never been to Port Elizabeth. I've never been out into the African continents. I've never been outside of Europe. I should have gone to America back in May, but that trip got cancelled. So, as it stands, I have never been outside of Europe. So flying over the garden routes. Visually, it is stunning. There's a lot of footpath up there. Fields, a lot of farmland, and the Cape Town Mountains to our left. So we'll just slowly run alongside us to flight. Not something you have to compare it to the original. Well, one day maybe I'll get a chance to fly up there, we'll see. From a flight sim standpoint, compare it to any other simulator. I mean, X-Plane certainly beats visually. FSX and P3 have nothing on this. Yes, we are running on high settings at the moment, high stroke ultra settings. Once I do upgrades to the 3080, I do plan to upgrades, hopefully a lot of things, push up to all ultra, but we'll see how that goes. The car comes out in about 2 weeks now. Got a free invitation already. Cheers, man. One day I'll visit this place. Yeah, so FSUI PC7 uses SimConnect. And so with SimConnect, or with FSUI PC, a lot of add-ons already use it to actually connect the simulator to actually use it as a reference point. So data values, both inputs injected and outputs, as a reference. And for example, right now I'm using the PAX, the Fly Life Studio add-on, which shows the overlay on my streams right now. And from tomorrow, I'll be introducing, give it a second, introducing this tool to the mix. So it's called PAX, it's a passenger simulation add-on. So let's see if I can probably, no, facts, flight number is A2, that's cruising altitude 15,000. Because we're not on the ground right now, it probably won't work. I probably don't have to test the Caravan there either. No, so it's around the aircraft, that'll do. It's fine. Yes. Oh, hang on. Mission's connected. Using FUI PC. I'll look into that. Drop a message to TFI Design later to see if I can try to get that fixed. But hopefully by tomorrow, I'll be able to get that working without any problem. Oh yeah, you are right. Oh, why's the navigation turned off? Did I accidentally press it? I don't know. I hope in future updates we see some more depth buildings at places. I'm sure when it comes to scenery upgrades, because the Black Shark AI people, they are doing more photogrammetry around the world, and so that will probably come with the monthly scenery updates that the sim will be bringing us. And so yes, I'm fairly sure that we will see a fair few more updates in regards to scenery in the sim. Plan to fly the Airbus again tomorrow. I'll fly wherever IVAO air traffic control are active. Glad enjoying the harvester. Glad enjoying the watch. Just over a third of the way there now. Just over a third of the way there. So the update was bug fixes, some optimization in regards to the name tags for AI traffic, and the SimConnect fix. And so those are the main big fixes, as well as a few other tweaks for the installation that allows people to run a bit smoother. At some point I may do an around the world flight. We'll see how that goes in the future. Enjoy the most relaxing and least hyper of all the F20 live streamers. I mean, I don't know. I fly for fun. Some put on the show, some go all out. But for me, it's slow and steady wins the race. Nice and calm, nice and beautiful. What's there to go crazy about? True, there are a few they've released now for the AI aircraft, so that's something very much to keep an eye out for. Very exciting now. Yeah, tonight I'll download the latest version, and for tomorrow should be quite a good stream planned. The PMDG 737 should come out on Xbox if it gets sold by the Microsoft store, the marketplace, and it's almost certain that it'll come out on Xbox as well. Yes, the big Navi Zen 3 coming out in November-December time. Is there an upgrade to Microsoft Flight Sim X for the PC? While I wait for it to come out on cons. Not sure what I mean by that, Mike. Is there an upgrade for Microsoft Flight Simulator X for the PC right in for 2020? Because FSX hasn't really seen an update since the acceleration pack came out in 2007. There's also been the Steam edition released in 2012, but since then, not really much else. So I'm not quite sure what I mean by that. Yes, I'm using the Thrustmaster HOTAS Warthog joystick and throttle. Not yet. No plans to descend for about an hour or so. An hour to descend. Oh right, I'm using the top bar. I'm using the top bar to tell me how far I am. So there's our progress bar. I'm gonna get the menu up. And so slowly as we've been flying, that's been scrolling on the screen, slowly updating. As we get close to our destination. So that's how I've been just judging my distances. Yes, an hour in real life. 1 hour till we land. So I'll be going for the 3080 GPU, sticking with NVIDIA. For my processor, I'm probably going to make a switch to AMD. I mean, the Intel stuff, they're more than fine, but I don't know, these newer AMD cards do look rather good, so we'll see how that goes, we'll see how it runs. If the sim runs smooth, then it's fine. Worst case scenario, I return it, I go for an i9 or something, but as it stands, probably go for the something in the AMD slide. Welcome there, Drive. How you doing? Welcome to the chats. It would have been Intel, but the AMD 3900X. So I'm probably going to go for a 3700 and overclock it. We'll see how it goes. See what pricing like as well. Potentially there'll be a sale between now and release. Interesting. I'll have a look at the 787 mod. Someone's got the link to it. Stick it in my Discord's general chat, so I'll have a look into it later. How can you fly with me? So I'm using IVA right now for my ATC, but it is possible to jump into the menu and select show all players, and therefore you can see my aircraft on the screen. Using 3700 watt stream. Good to hear, good to hear. It's probably what I'm going for in the future next. I mean, 8 cores, 16 threads, will be much greater than my current 4 core 8 threads. Should run a bit faster and smoother as well. So yeah, wait for the 4000 series coming soon. Question is when soon. I mean, worst case scenario, I keep my current i7 for a little bit longer, and then see around December what upgrades there are to Zen 3. So I can upgrade everything else. I'll upgrade the graphics card, upgrades the... I think I'll keep my RAM actually. The RAM I'll probably keep a little bit longer. I mean, it's 16 gigabytes, it's DDR4 and runs rather well, so... RAM is the least of my concerns when it comes to the system. My graphics card I'm going to upgrade, get a new motherboard, transfer out a processor. Nice one, Tasha. About the self-teaching the liveries. Yeah, 32 gigs is way better, and so, again, it really comes down to what upgrades am I doing, and when do I go for it. But the 3080, that is a guarantee. That will be something I'm doing. Welcome there, Mo Yuck, how you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chat. RAM upgrades the cheapest way to get to the PC. True, very true. Also looking at new motherboards. We're going for the Tomahawk, which is looking very juicy indeed. Basically review quite a mix on the 3080. How so, Chris? How so? In terms of performance, it's double that of the 2080. While the 3070 is looking quite good, 3080 probably the best on performance and price points. Currently the optimum level, and is therefore the flagship of that series. A bit of turbulence there. We're now halfway through the flights. No, the Cessna Caravan does not have retractable gear. I believe there is a retractable gear version of it out there, but this one, certainly not. Yeah, press the G key as many times as I want, and nothing's going to happen. How to see distance? At the top of the screen, you can see a red bar, and that shows your distance to your destination and from your departure. Also, you can just use the panels on the right. Yeah, Cessna 210 has a retractable gear, and it's definitely more suited for longer flights. The Cessna 208 Caravan is more used for rugged bush trips and small airfields away from civilization, or even just standing off the runway entirely, which is more than possible. Chat down needs to be dropped down a bit. I mean, I'm quite happy where the chat is right now. It's not too big, it doesn't take away from the screen, and it shows you guys are active for the most part, but as it stands, I don't want to be too big, but it's still visible. Did Heathrow to New York the other day? It took 6 hours. 6 hours is good. It takes usually around 7 to do that flight. Yeah, I need the big wheels like in Alaska. That'd be awesome. So yeah, the 3090 is two 2080 Ti cards in terms of performance, but it's really expensive at $1,500. It's not cheap by any means. If you can go for it, but for me personally, I can't justify $1,500, but $800, $700 for the 3080, that I'm looking at. That I'm very much looking at. I've seen the Sahara Desert. I mean, it is the second biggest desert in the world, so it's not that difficult to miss. Yeah, 39's not aimed for gaming. I mean, it is given that it is the same power output as a NVIDIA Titan card. It's used really for heavy rendering and large scale, just powerhouse really. Yeah, so the RTX 3090 will almost certainly be the spiritual successor to the Titan it runs at the same rates. It promises 8K gaming at 60 FPS, but it does come at a cost. Yeah, so some chat does get lost, but like I say, it's kind of has half stylized it where it just goes behind the chat layer. That for me is fine. Same parallels as an A10 Warthog. How do you sit back? Right alt and down low work for you. It's left alt, not right alt, it's left alt. Let's go up and down. Is it cheaper than a Titan? Oh yeah, sorry, no, it is cheaper than Titan. The Titan's like $4,000. This is just under half the price because by using Ampere, so the two reasons why these are so cheap compared to the last generation cards. Ampere is very efficient at what it does. The technology being used to build these cards, very cheap, and if they can release the cards, it's cheap. And thirdly, try and compete with the AMD cards. Because the AMD stuff is, well, maybe not quite as high, it is quite lowly priced, and therefore try and compete with that. NVIDIA try to lower the price a little bit. Move the overlay down. I mean, where do you really need to move the overlay down, really? There's nowhere for it to just like reduce opacity, that's no problem. So if I refresh that now, so I've reduced the opacity a little bit, make it more transparent. Flight time is just over 2 hours today. Yeah, Chicago's looking very good from Epic Stream Team. I'm not sure if I'll pick it up because Chicago's not an airport I fly from too often, but it is looking very, very juicy indeed. Looking very nice. Yeah, it gets in 2080s on the used market, and that's always an option as well. Given that, well, if you bought a 2080 in the last, especially with Titanium, if you bought a 2080 Ti in the last 2 months or so, NVIDIA have just released a card at the exact same price that runs twice as good, so yeah, I know a couple of people have actually got buyer's remorse because they have bought the cards, I guess, slightly too early. A lot of sad eBayers trying to sell the 2080. Fact is, unless you're specifically looking, basically, if you're using Microsoft Flight Simulator, go for a 30 series. If this isn't of interest to you, go buy the second-hand 2080s, which are now super duper cheap. You bought two 2080 Ti's from EVGA for the price of one about 8 months ago. Okay. I presume you've then used SLI to link them both together, have you? No worries, 8 Seal. You take care of yourself. Have a good one. ETA 55 minutes. Ah, nice one, Logan. You enjoy yourself when the joystick arrives. We're using IVAO for the ATC today, and for traffic, IVAO. To the south, the next landmass over there is going to be Antarctica. To the north, the coastline of South Africa. Yeah, the Thrustmaster T16000M is a very nice card. It's a very nice stick, and is the predecessor to the Airbus. So the TCA Airbus side stick from Thrustmaster uses pretty much the same components modified to run the Airbus spec, but the 16000M has been a long-term favourite for a lot of people. I believe actually my brother's go-to stick as well. He uses that alongside his Honeycomb Alpha yoke. Interesting. No, you can do that. Actually, do them all one by one as well. Let me show you what I'm doing. There you go. So right alt, click on that. Pop out displays. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Yep, yeah, using autopilot. Autopilot off. Autopilot's on. Yes, I mean, because of Microsoft Flight Simulator, all joysticks and all yokes have completely sold out, or the prices for them have heavily inflated. So I bought my Thrustmaster HOTAS Warthog together for about £270. These days, to get both of them together, you're looking at least £1,000. Price is very high at the moment. Cheers for that, Frantic. Glad you know the tutorials. Yes, 3080 is the same price as the 2080, but has double the performance, which is just crazy. Because of the box damage, sticks brand new. Fair play, Caffel. Fair play. Very nicely done. Good haggling there. I mean, don't forget, in terms of double performance, it's because they have switched over from the original Turing architecture over to Ampere. So it's a new architecture that's used to, well, I guess, run the graphics within your games. And as it stands, Ampere is set to run twice as fast as Turing. Well, actually, I think something like, how is it? It's like a 33% improvement. And then something else that they've done to boost the card's power output in terms of its graphics. Yeah, around 70%, something like that. I mean, regardless, it's looking like a very good card at very decent prices as well, so I find not complaining. Do I get bored? No, not at all. I'm very much enjoying these. I find these, well, I find flying peaceful, and so badge flight as well, nice and peaceful. When I find the Cessna 208, the Cessna Grand Caravan today. Yeah, so tomorrow, flying the A320neo, and it'll be wherever ATC is active, wherever we can get a controller in. Oh yeah, that's fair play, Chris. I mean, it's always good to stay on the more cautious side of things. And so it's well worth a watch. An aisle head tracker view for the streams. I mean, I'm not too interested in track IR. I understand why people like it, but for me personally, I don't really understand the fact that you're moving your head away from your monitor to track your head movements. I mean, I don't get it. I think that's more. I don't fully understand it. But I know a lot of people who do use it, a lot of people who find it really beneficial for their flying, so fair play to them. I mean, don't forget Microsoft Flight Simulator does support that one particular VR headset. Eventually we'll see features coming soon. Thank you Elite Galaxy for the €5 there, thank you very much for that. Shields on every plane in the game, all devices and so on, very helpful people. So the plan is to slowly do more tutorials. So the next ones I'll be doing with the two sets of citations, the CJ4 and the altitude. Sorry, the longitude, and so those two will be the next set of tutorials I'll do. And yeah, we'll see how the rest of them come along, but more tutorials are definitely on the way. Facial OIR, I have used face tracking OIR. I used it alongside Triumph's VR to create like a really hooky VR headset based on my phone. But I have got face track somewhere. The fact though is that it's kind of an awkward way of doing it. It's donationware for a freeware that you have to go for, and from what I can tell, the developers are no longer really responding to people anymore, so it's a bit of a drop. No Rory today, not today. It's something you have to do once. You know how nice it is, and there are cheap versions that work nice, even used by a camera. Yes, I have heard about it. Poor man's track IR. Yeah, so co-pilot mode will be coming at some point. That would be called shared cockpits. It will be coming at some point in the future. Yeah, love the new setup. No people asking for flight time. So the overlay at the top of the screen is something that I used to use a lot with the X-Plane and P3D flights. But now that FS UIPC and Simplex both work properly for Microsoft Flight Simulator, something I can now finally use within this platform as well. It's nice and simple to understand. It's very small and takes up barely any of the screen. It just gives you a bit more information on flights as well. But yeah, flights are going so far so good. God Life, thank you very much. Flight time's around 2 hours today. Yeah, they're quite fortunate with the weather. It was going to rain a bit earlier on, but things are looking quite stable at the moment. You can get the METAR information as well. Let's have a look. Fate. So as it stands, it's 5 knots 250, clear visibility, scattered clouds of 2,400. So, yeah, as it stands, looking nice and quiet at the moment. No, Sean. Greetings from South Africa. Yes, this is live. We are live streaming. Everything you see is currently active. Using the overlay to determine how long's for landing. See, I'm glad it's helpful. You say that now. It is 30 minutes. That 1 minute has ticked down. ETA 21:25 Zulu. Current time 20:55. So within 30 minutes. What would you choose? This or a CS:GO knife? I mean, I've never understood the fascination over CS:GO knives and CS:GO skins. I mean, you pay several grand for a fancy looking knife in a virtual game that you don't physically ever get to hold. It's a lot of money over a knife. Same for gun skins as well. And I believe with gun skins you've got limited use. You get like 64 uses out of it while they slowly become battle worn. And eventually it just expires. Like, you spent £500 for a skin for a gun that will eventually poof into thin air. I've never understood the I mean, okay, you buy a transaction that helps you benefit the game, but a transaction that gives you no benefit apart from a texture, that is, I don't know, I've never understood it fully. Wasn't too bad, Wayne. So far, so good. Our airport's slowly coming to view now on the G1000 panel there. So I'll zoom in on the range slightly. When we're going to get cheaper, I mean, the next sale that really looks like we could possibly see a discount, maybe Black Friday. That's coming at the end of November. Is it 81 legs for your world tour? Gosh, okay, yeah, have a good one. 81 legs, that's a lot of flights, that. FPS inside the cockpits. 30 at the moment, solid 30. If I turned off my FPS limiter, I'd probably get around 45-50. So, in order for OBS to run smooth, I have got an FPS limiter. Keeps the sim smooth, keeps the stream smooth, everything looks good. Yep, this is live weather at the moment. Excited for 3080? Absolutely. As soon as it comes out, I'm going to be buying one of them. I'm going to buy the 3080. I'm not sure if I'll go for the, well, it looks like I might be going for the Asus Republic of Gamers version, the Asus ROG. Maybe one of the other. We'll see. We'll see how it comes out, both in terms of pricing, in terms of performance as well. Look for Stayabot at Stansted Ramp Agents. Might lose your job next month or so. I mean, like, I know that it's been rather tough in the aviation world, especially when it comes to jobs at the moment. And so what? Is it a voluntary leave, or are you just losing it because of COVID? That's tough. I know one guy, he was a EasyJet's cabin crew, EasyJet senior cabin crew, head of crew, something like that. They took the voluntary leave, and, well, they're currently just assessing their situation at the moment. Yes, this is live, currently flying in South Africa today. We'll have to push back EasyJets. Might take voluntary leave though. Yeah, MSI is a good choice, because as it stands, MSI and Asus are the two stand out in terms of companies to go for. The other ones, well, it comes down to seeing what the build quality is like. They've got their flashy lights and extras, but how good are they is the question. Gigabyte, they're alright as well. When should their cockpit arrive? No idea yet, but it has been planned. They will be doing one. Playing on a 1080p monitor, not 4K. Yeah, the 3080, the hopes is then that at least for next decade there'll be no need to upgrade a GPU. You look at the 1080, which for a long time was the flagship graphics card from NVIDIA. The 1080 came out in 2014, so 6 years it's run as the top-end GPU. 6 years. The 3080, we'll see how long that runs for, because I don't plan to upgrade to 8K anytime soon. I'll almost like to go for 1440. We'll think about 4K, we'll have to think about it, but 1440 almost certainly. And then, yeah, see how that all goes. We've still got a little bit of flying left to go if we start our descent. Still got a little bit longer to go. Yes, it will be a visual approach today. No idea about the Xbox release yet. It'll either be it'll be either the end of this year or start of next year. I like it. I've enjoyed the Microsoft Flight Sim so far, and so I'd say it's definitely worth the buy, yes. If you're a Game Pass, it's if you're a Game Pass. true. Render scaling does allow you to scale up your sim quite nicely in terms of getting all the sharper textures. Microsoft Flight and X-Plane are both enjoyable, but for two different things. For Microsoft Flight Simulator, it's definitely the graphics and the world fidelity, satellite imagery worldwide, as well as a few other visual extras here and there. X-Plane, I like it for the flight dynamics. The X-Plane's flight dynamics with Blade Element Theory, second to none. Very, very nicely done. You say about more content, but don't forget X-Plane 11 has been out for 4 or 5 years now, and X-Plane as a platform has been out since 1992, so X-Plane 9 is the oldest sim that uses this generation of X-Plane infrastructure, so anything from X-Plane 9 and up is more than likely going to work in X-Plane 11, no problems. It's kind of like with Microsoft Flight Simulator, how you could use FS 2002 stuff in X, because FS 2002 was the first sim of that generation of ESP that allows content to work across them all. I'm going to miss 2D panels and 3D parts that use. I mean, it's not difficult. You can still pop them up. Cheers, Wayne. Glad you enjoy my voice, I guess. Right, a couple of minutes. We'll start our defence now into Port Elizabeth. Still got a fair few miles to go. Not terribly long now to go. Not long at all. ETA is around 20 minutes at this stage. A little bit of turbulence. The aircraft's getting pushed up a little bit at times. Still relatively stable at the moment. The update sorted out some optimization in regards to multiplayer of name tags. It's sorted out some installation bugs that people are having, and it sorted out the SimConnect lagging issue, allowing SimConnect to run smoother in the simulator. Yeah, the A350, none's been confirmed as of yet. I'm not sure when we'll see an A350 in the sim just yet, but nothing's been confirmed, not from Cybo, not from third-party developers. Right now we are using around 80% mixture, 75% mixture. That seems to be running nice and optimum for us at the moment. There's a fuel on board, so we've got plenty of fuel. Should be alright. 3080 Ti's have not been announced, and I very much doubt we'll see a 3080 titanium spec, at least not for a long time. I know that a 3070 Ti has been announced by one of the developers. Who was that announced, the 3070 Ti, like an upgrade to the standard 3070? It wasn't a company I was expecting myself, but was actually quite intrigued by. I can't remember who it was exactly. But no, 3080 Ti not coming for yonks at this stage. Yes, so it's Gigabyte. Lenovo, that's it. Lenovo announced the 3070 Ti, which I was a bit surprised by because I don't normally associate Lenovo with NVIDIA graphics cards. So it was a surprise, but quite a pleasant one. I mean, I bought my 1660 about a year ago, just over a year ago I bought it. And so, while I guess it is a bit of a shame to upgrade it so soon, I don't feel too bad about it, because the 1660 is a nice enough graphics card, and it has run me on Microsoft Flight Simulator quite nicely since its release. For this, I had an NVIDIA GTX 745, which was a reference card, not a graphics card. And so, yeah, the 1660, it's a nice little GPU, it does its job well. And I believe my brother wants to get his hands on it once I do upgrade to 3080s, so that'll probably be the case, because he's on AMD cards right now. And while AMD do make a good graphics cards, their drivers and compatibility does need a little bit of work, to say the least. So I'm happy to stick with NVIDIA for graphics. My processor, looking at AMD at the moment. Should an RX 580 handle this? I'm not too sure about that, Sean, because I don't know enough about AMD cards to give you a full answer. Yeah, the 3090 1500, which is very expensive and not really designed for gaming, it's more for high-end processing. Oh yeah, I'm not saying AMD drivers don't work fine, but I'm saying they're not quite as fine-tuned as what NVIDIA can pull off. But again, we'll see just how the future goes, really, what the future brings. You seem to be lost, just seeing St. Francis Bay now, passing Jeffrey Bay afterwards. If you love that sort of thing. I don't think it's to be too lost. I mean, we've got the Oxet waypoint just ahead of us now. We have one more water hop ahead of us. We're coming to land at Port Elizabeth. Sun's slowly starting to set behind us now, so it's quite a nice, peaceful sunset approach that. Had your 1080 titanium for 3 years now since the the workhorse. I mean, 1080s have been around for, let's say, it's almost a decade now since they came out, and they have been a very, very good card for most, and so... yeah, a lot of people will be retiring their 1080s now, but I think most will look back on them quite happily of just how well they've worked. What's that bulb on the right of the wing? It's not a bulb, that's... we're looking at this. I believe it's something to do with the radios. It's a radio or weather panel. It's definitely links to radar, that's for sure. Because on the end you've got anti-collision lights. You then got your landing lights on the left there. On the nose, you're going to have your taxi lights somewhere. Another landing lights, and then the other anti-collision lights and strobe. Yeah, some slight sunset on. So I like how the shadow as well just reflects on the propeller there. On the shadow you can see the just right, so you've got the landing gear just there. You've got the wing, you've got the wing support struts, and I think you've got the you've got something underneath in there as well. All the flap motors. It's going to be a very beautiful approach, this. So nav lights, so this one's the end of the wing. So you have your green nav light on the right and your red nav light on the left. The flashing lights, your strobe. The red's flashing lights, which you can't really see on here right now. And the red flashing lights is then your beacon. Right, in a couple of minutes we shall start our descents, but not long to go now. Not long to go. Please answer you with what, John? You haven't asked the question. No more red port left in the bottle. Cool. Yeah, so they're different colours, and so navigation lights tell other pilots the direction of travel and the speed of travel. So it's a visual aid. And so if you see the green lights, then you know the aircraft is currently heading to the... well, currently facing it away from you, or... what would be the easiest way to kind of explain it? Because it's green light, red light. The green light means that the right wing is towards you. The red light means that the left wing is towards you, so therefore the aircraft is flying parallel or perpendicular from you. If you then see both lights, it means that the aircraft is either coming towards you or away from you. And then the distance of the two lights from one another gives you an idea of what the angle the aircraft is at right now. This weekend I have got plans for long haul flights. Yes, on Saturday I'll probably do something long haul. There is a route I've got in mind, which someone suggested, and so I'm more certainly going to be doing that. Right, start our descent now. Slowly bring ourselves in for a landing. So altitude down to 5,000. Flying with the water at the moment, so there's nothing in the way of mountains or airspace to avoid. Just nice and simple descent rates. So we're down to 5,000, and then from there, probably take it on manual flights. Turn off the autopilot, take it in by hand. So bring back the throttle, slowly bring the airplane down. Why doesn't the Caravan have retractable landing gear? So, unlike the Cessna 210, I believe it is, which does have retractable landing gear, the Caravan is designed for dirt strip runways and rugged terrain, and so the landing gear are set in position, and I believe they're reinforced, and so that way they can have the gear in place, they're reinforced, and allow for you to land on slightly worse terrain. I will be upgrading my CPU, yes. Currently deciding if I'm going to get a current gen AMD or waits for the November-December releases. Passing now through 13,000. Yeah, Pilatus disagrees with you. Slow and steady, bring the aircraft down. It's going to be a very nice approach to this, especially with the sunset behind us. Recently upgraded to 2060, 32 gigs of DDR3 RAM. Not to have that range of CPU. Still getting marginal frame rates. Look into overclocking, look into running your spec, because at the end of the day, when it comes to a simulator, and especially Microsoft Flight Sim, don't use the preset settings. Always tweak them, always adjust them, and get the settings exactly what you need them to be. Running it just on high, or just on medium, or just on low, whatever, is the best way to have your simulator lag out, because it just doesn't run anything properly. There's a lot of tweaking, a lot of hands adjusting to get your simulator running just as good as it needs to be. Flying on IVAO at the moment, flying on IVAO. 30 series card upgrade is coming, yes. Going to go for a 3080 when it comes out. Do you have headset sound option? Yes I do. At least I think I do. Let's have a look. Headset sound. I'm not sure which headset that is right now. Looking at Windows spatial sound. That's currently turned off, so I don't have that. Seal degradation. That's fine. I've always turned it off anyway, so it doesn't really do anything. I'm not too sure, truth be told. About to pass through 10,000 shortly. Let's turn on landing lights. And let's set the altimeter to 2994. Large tower just down there. Use a red light in reference to that. Do you know some of the options see the markings for landings? That comes under the aids. If you go to assistance, you can go to navigation aids, and you can use the landing path to show your approach path of the runway. But I don't use any of those. The sun is just about to go below the horizon. Just see how bright it will be for touchdown. The airport should stay coming to view as well shortly as well. Runway 08 will be a straight-in approach by the looks of things. We'll turn off the autopilot. And what I'm going to do So first we'll make a right hand turn, get ourselves into a slightly better approach to the runway. And then we're probably going to side slip it. So in order to lose a bit of speed, lose a bit of altitude, we'll side slip the aircrafts. We'll slowly bring it in ourselves. About to pass through 5,000. So the airports. So around, well, there's the runway. And that's where we'll be coming to land at. Not giving you gander, I mean side slipping's a pretty standard manoeuvre for any light aircraft. One thing I really like about the Caravan is the fact that because it is a rugged bush aircraft, I'm pitching down about 5 degrees right now, which is well, absolutely within this aircraft capabilities. It's a very rugged plane, this. A lot of fun to fly, very easy to control. So we're aligned the runway now. Thank you very much, Hendrik. Much appreciated. Thank you for the kind words. I'm glad that people are enjoying what I do at the moment, because, like I say, YouTube streaming and flight sim has always been a hobby for me. Machuserade! Welcome! Welcome new viewers. How you all doing today? Of course, right in time for the approach there. Welcome Matt Zeus, how you doing? Welcome Matt Zeus followers. I shall reciprocate with that. And when this stream ends, we'll do a raid on another Twitch channel and see who else is out there. Watch the pro do it. Don't worry, I'm not a pro. I'm about as average as it gets. Right, going to bring it in a bit slower now. In the short bits, we'll start loading the flaps to the landing as well. Runway's in sight. Weather's looking clear. It's a 5-knot wind at the moment. And we're looking nice and stable. Where's the off button for the AI ATC? You can find it. So in the sound settings, just switch the slider down to 0. Oh yeah, South African scene's looking beautiful right now. It's flying over this beach down to our left. We've still got the Cape Fold Mountains still visible on the horizon. And the sunset just really adds to the whole effect. It just looks amazing. Just a moment, we're back over to land again. Make a slight left-hand turn, just brings a bit more centre of the runway. Let's lower the flaps down to the first setting. Just trim for descents. I'm about to fly over your house. Fair play, Cameron. So I'm sure you probably recognise a lot in this area right now. sun has now set. So in about 8 minutes time, it shall be pitch black over here. Still a bit windy. Still looking a bit gusty right now. 6 knots. Oh, sorry, 26 knots. Variable heading. So it's a headwind, stroke crosswind at the moment. Let's get ourselves adjusted for that then. Woohoo, here we go, this is going to be fun. Right, flaps down a second. Bring back the throttle. And let's now crab the aircrafts. Try and lose some of that altitude. So, stick it to the sides. 4 rudder lefts. We're now flying sideways. That should be enough. Increase our throttle if we start stalling the airplane. And so what we just did there is we crabs the aircraft, we side-slipped it. Let's get back onto the runway heading. We're still a little bit off, but not looking too bad. It's nice and gusty though. Nice and gusty. I'm loving the lights over from town below. Like a racetrack just there as well. Left-hand side passengers get a nice view of the mountains, town and road below. On the right, you get the coastline, you get the trees. We're a little on the high end right now, so throttle back, pitch down the nose slightly, get us onto the glide slope, the pappies. Yeah, this is looking very nice. I love the house on the left, that just looks beautiful. Very nicely done. Looking good, looking stable. Nice and slow. Get ready to kick the rudder in for touchdown. The aircraft straight. And touchdown. Oops. It's a bit windy there. There we go. Third time's the charm. There we go. We are down now. Hit the brakes. Let's load the aeroplane down. Well, there we go. Welcome to Cape Town. Sorry, Port Elizabeth. Welcome to Port Elizabeth. Let's increase the throttle. Let's head towards the end of the runway and clear it. Not even a Chesley Sullenberg get greasy there. I love you guys. You're all amazing when it comes to your kind words throughout. Well, there's the terminal. Presumably, parking area as well. So, yeah, that's the end of the runway. Make a left-hand turn, and we'll follow the taxiways down. Let's increase the flaps. Should be next to Sally Hudson landing. Maybe one day if we get to an A320 CEO in US Airways liveries. Nah, probably not. We'll see, we'll see. No, Stefan, you take care of yourself. Have a good one. You hate perpendicular runways that cross each other? How so? I mean, in reality, you only ever use one runway at a time. If you didn't bounce up, that would have been a bad landing. How so? How so? Kind of simple. The King Air uses Pro-Line fusion panels. The Cessna 208 uses G1000 panels. One's by Garmin, the other one, I'm not quite sure who makes the Pro-Line stuff. I'm going to find somewhere to park the aircraft up. So before I forget as well, landing lights come off, as do the strobes. Most stands seem taken at the moment. That one, however, looks clear, so we'll use that. Turn. Oh, you've got the ones in this one. Very nice. So push to the right. So, ever so slowly. Halt. Parking brake sets. Bring back the RPM. Bring back the mixture. And that brings us into a land. Turn off taxi lights, turn off the beacon lights. Engines are off. So like I say, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Port Elizabeth. Sun is slowly setting. Got the red moon over there, slowly appearing on the horizon again. That level of detail really is amazing. This, I absolutely love this. I adore it. I adore it. Next stream, tomorrow. I plan to do a next stream. Tomorrow I'll be flying the A320 again, so do keep an eye out for that one. Sorry. There you go, that's a bit better. Let's have a look around as well, because I spotted the scenery is looking really good on the approach there, so let's just use drone cam. Let's just look around Port Elizabeth a little bit. I mean, the level of detail throughout that was amazing. You've got all the local houses down here. I mean, somebody who lives here, tell me, does this look like a small town in South Africa? Does this look accurate to what you'd expect to find in this part of the world? I don't know, I've never been here. Admittedly, it's quite Greek, in my opinion, but hey, what do I know? I mean, from above as well, it's just amazing what Asobo have been able to achieve. No, it does not. Fair enough. Well, it's not perfect, but hey, at least from above, it plays the part. Over there, you got a few more complexes. This is a sports complex. No, it's a park, national park. Got the coastline. According to Google Maps, that's a slum. Ah, okay, fair enough. Obviously, they've got an upgrade that recently. Right, well, let's jump back to our aircraft, and let's bring this to an end. Let's just do that. There you go. Zoom in. There, that's nice. That's very nice. So, thank you guys very much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the stream today. If you guys did, then do please leave a like, do subscribe as well if you haven't done so already. That'd be surely appreciated. Let's have a look. Anybody who's streaming on Twitch right now could probably go raid. Anybody I've heard of? Anybody I quite like? Possibly. Could go for him. Oh, Devil Dog's back as well. Fair play. Let's go and have a raid. Let's go Scott's God. So, thank you guys very much for watching. You take care of yourselves. Have a good one. And, yeah, see you in the... Well, see you tomorrow for another flight. Yeah, Blood Moon. Looking very, very nice, that. Very nicely detailed.